What's going on, fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys have been doing well. Today's a massive one. We're having massive breakouts on Ethereum, and if Ethereum actually closes this week at these current prices, it's actually going to be an all-time high on a weekly close. And as you guys can see, our highest ever weekly close was actually the previous bull market back in 2021 in November, and it was around the 4,620 range. And really, it's looking quite good for Ethereum to actually break out to all-time highs for August. I told you guys pretty much late last month that I was expecting all-time highs to come for Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's looking like Ethereum is actually about to front run the all-time highs aspect because Bitcoin's actually not doing much here. It's pretty much just trading sideways, and I do expect for that to really turn around later on in this month. But when it comes to Ethereum, yeah, it's definitely a rocket ship currently as it stands right now, and I would not be surprised all-time highs get actually broken for this month, and then we can have some retests, maybe a retest of previous all-time highs, and then continuation to the upside. But without further ado, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow those pages, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. First of all, for long short liquidations, we're actually having a lot of liquidations today, and I told you guys multiple times, we have to be careful for once the liquidations get past $750 million, because that really tends to be when inflection points do happen. We're getting close, but we're not quite there yet, so I will keep it monitoring you guys and let you know if we actually get close to this, but we are definitely closer today, and this is pretty much the closest we've ever been pretty much the past 2 weeks, but it's looking quite good because the long short ratio is still quite balanced. And when it comes to liquidation heat map, we're having a lot of liquidations getting built up on both sides. And there's actually not much data to show for the Ethereum because Ethereum is just absolutely having a monster run as it stands right now. And really the only liquidations will get built up is once Ethereum actually starts stabilizing and starts trading sideways. Right now it's literally just going up only. So let's see if we get all-time highs first. And then I do expect liquidations to actually starting to get built up around the previous all-time high levels. Next up is the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, looking absolutely amazing. I told you guys the 0.041 key region is a massive target for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart because I really do think that is the next target for the inverse parabolic move. Currently, we're going straight into it, and I do think that we're probably going to have some consolidation once we actually hit that. And during that consolidation, I do think that base season will really kick off. As you guys can see already, Ethereum is having a monster move today, but TOSHI and other tokens haven't really moved. Yes, Alien Base is actually up quite a bit, but Alien Base is really linked to Ethereum, especially because it's a DEX token. But the real base season won't start, in my opinion, until the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart ratio actually starts trading sideways. As it stands right now, all the attention is at the Ethereum token. So once Ethereum actually starts consolidating and makes its all-time high run already, that's when I actually see that rotation to base chain. Next up is the Ethereum to USD chart. Of course, we're seeing a massive up-only move right now, and I did tell you guys, look, I do expect all-time highs to happen in August. Looks like it's about to hit. Of course, I'm not jumping the gun here. Let's see if we can get that confirmation this month, and if we do get that confirmation, base season is going to happen, in my opinion. And I really hope you guys are prepared for the base chain season to come, because of course, I've told you guys so many times, base chain is the higher beta of Ethereum, and the higher Ethereum goes, let's say Ethereum goes to 7K, 8K beyond, that's when I really do think a base chain will shine. We're going to see absolutely massive pumps across the whole base chain ecosystem. I've told you guys multiple tokens to actually look into, and when it comes to these tokens are always going to be a high beta outlook of base chain, and since base chain is a high beta in of itself of Ethereum, I do think these tokens will also do well. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is just my opinion. I only relay what I see to you guys on the charts and what I think will happen in the future. But of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so if you guys are looking for financial advice, this isn't the channel. Next up is Bitcoin, and when it comes to Bitcoin, it's just really just trading sideways. It's been quite boring right now, but just notice how once Bitcoin actually starts consolidating sideways, we're seeing rotation, and of course the next layer of rotation is Ethereum. So once Ethereum finishes its parabolic move, probably beyond the 5K plus area, and we actually see some consolidation for the first time, that's when I really see some rotation from Ethereum down to our base chain assets like TOSHI, Alien Base, etc. So if your coins aren't moving, it's totally fine, because right now Ethereum has all the attention, so you can't expect massive moves to play out for your altcoins, because just as I say, Alien Base is a microcap and it's going to be a laggard. Because it's a laggard, it's generally mean because it's a smaller coin than the next larger one. So basically, Ethereum needs to run really hard, and then once Ethereum starts completing its move, most of its move at least, and starts consolidating, we can then expect to see smaller coins like TOSHI to really start ramping up. And then the next layer is the micro caps like Alien Base. Next up is the Total 3 chart. Total 3 chart is looking absolutely amazing. We're grinding up, making new highs, and really the next major resistance is that 1.09 trillion area. If we clear that, sky's the limit. We're making all-time highs and going to have an absolute monster move for August and September. Next up is Others chart as well. Same thing, Others chart is technically still lagging behind, and I won't be surprised the move actually starts really playing out in September, because based on the case as well, like rotation does take a while to happen. I won't be surprised if Ethereum finishes its move within like probably the next 2 months, and then only after that we see that mass altcoin rotation where we actually see altcoin season. But when it comes to the altcoin season as well, there is this chart I've been showing you guys and been monitoring you. And as you guys can see, we're actually having that breakout move on the bull flag. And today we actually had that print, we had that breakout. And really what we would like to see now is continuation and a breakout to the upside. And if we start dragging along and head up to the altcoin season 75 or greater, that really tells me, look, you guys probably going to have to start really looking into taking profits. Once we actually go greater than 75, that's really the point where there's going to be mass euphoria on the chart and when you guys should be looking to convert your holdings. And personally, I will be selling around that point because that just is a really good risk to reward area. And of course, it really depends on your coin at the time. But I guess that point is just like good luck because it will be difficult to sell. And it will just depend on your scenario for that point and like what your targets are. Next up is by a tweet by CryptoFi. Altcoins are very likely about to step into the spotlight soon. It may not be obvious now, but in hindsight, it will be. This really just goes back to what I was saying where once Ethereum really breaks out, completes its move and starts consolidating, then we can actually see the Others chart to really start ramping up. And as you guys can see, the move has been like ticked over and the inflection point has begun, but it's going to take a while for the move to actually complete. It's going to take at least a few months looking at prior history. So if we look back at the previous cycle, like look how many candles there were. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even just 6 candles on the first impulse up. And let's say if you sold here and missed this move, that's still totally fine because you caught most of the move, but it still nonetheless took 6 months to actually complete. So based purely on the prior cycle as well, if it takes 6 months for that monster move to occur, that just tells me altcoins can possibly run into early 2026. Of course, I'm not betting on it, but let's see where the charts turn out, and I will monitor you guys when I do think altcoin season is actually like just topping out in general, and when the markets actually get risky and you should deleverage and just really deleverage your portfolios and start DCAing out of your coins. Of course, when it comes to TOSHI and Alien Base, those are going to be laggards. Of course, Alien Base will be the prime laggard because it's a market cap. But just looking at the chart alone for Alien Base, it's looking quite suspiciously bullish because as you guys can see, this accumulation range has been a major resistance for us. But if you actually look at lower time frames, we've wicked above, we've wicked into that resistance area. Let me just delete the circles so it just be easier. So as I was saying, we wicked into it once back in 9th of August, and then a second time yesterday, and as well as today. So it's looking like to me, on the third go, or even the fourth time, we're actually going to have that break to the upside. And look, every time we've broken up to the upside, we've had an explosive move at the very least. So, of course, the first time we actually broke above, we had a massive monster move here, and then as well as back in May. So once this gets broken, I do expect a massive move to occur, probably into that 15-cent resistance. And let's see if we break out. If we do break out, I do expect continuation to happen for Alien Base and possibly making new all-time highs within the next 2 months. But of course, I would be tracking for you guys. No confirmations as of yet, but it's looking quite bullish to me, and I don't want to be jumping the gun. And when it comes to accumulating, definitely that risk to reward box, that purple box, was your last time to actually get into a good position. But let's see how we go if we have some retests. Of course, for us to retest and really dump back down, that would actually require Ethereum to dump way into its line of support back at the $4,000 level, which is quite massive. It's still like, what is it? It's about a 13% down move. So I do expect alts to get absolutely wrecked if that's the case. And that's the only scenario really I personally see for Alien Base to go down to that risk to reward accumulation box again. And same goes for TOSHI. TOSHI is just consolidating right now, but I do think TOSHI will really start moving once Ethereum completes its local top move, probably within the next 30 days. And especially with its catalyst coming up, we've got TOSHI Mart releasing on different chains, and I do expect the flywheel to really start ramping up for TOSHI. I'm going to expect the supply shock to occur as well as the buybacks. But that's all to the video, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe. Have a good one. Have a good day. Peace.